What's the most resilient parasite? An idea. A single idea from the human mind can build cities. An idea can transform the world and rewrite all the rules. Which is why I have to steal it. He's hiding something and we need to find out what that is.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick! This was not a part of the plan!
Wake me up! Wake me up! I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think.
As the galaxies go whizzing by over the glass domed ceiling. Now tell me that doesn't work for you.
If it's true, does it change how I live my life? This is something that is not an easy answer because of the magnitude of what we're talking about here. How it will change your life, first of all, when you understand it, is dramatic, to say the least. Will it change you from having to go to your job every day and the things that you typically do every day? No. But when this knowledge becomes more mainstream, and these agencies will it change you from having to go to your job every day and you understand that they're all participating in this, not just the United States government, not just NASA, but China, Russia, India, all of them have space programs. They all have the same symbolism. They're all doing the exact same thing to their citizenry. And the first thing you have to understand about this is that the deception goes all the way to the top. And when I say all the way to the top, you have to kind of get rid of the notion that the people at the very highest levels are working together. Why would they do this? Why are they trying to hide the fact that we are on an infinite plane or on a flat earth rather than a ball? Well, if you isolate people into the idea that they're on a blue marble that's in the middle of a universe that is really insignificant and there's thousands or millions and billions of other worlds and possibly other civilizations, that makes most people think that we are insignificant and that we did actually come about as some sort of an accident. Now, when people believe that, their minds are much more malleable into being given the idea that there is no God, there is no creator. And because of that, that also gives the controllers this fertile soil to build other deceptions on.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
It's about total control, mental, physical, spiritual, every way, shape, form possible.
You have to remember how big of a conspiracy this is. This isn't talking about just the JFK thing or isn't talking about just 9/11. It's on an umbrella kind of system to where it is the biggest deception that there is. It actually exposes every other deception, and nothing else brings down the power of the elite because it really exposes education, science, the economy, television, museums, universities. Think of all the things that have been fooled. I feel worse for the people that are out there building satellites, the people that are out there actually working for these space agencies, the people out there teaching in schools as professors, because they would all come to the conclusion eventually, once this gets out, that they've all been contributing to the lie.
Why do you believe what you believe? Prove it without using NASA or any other space agency, the government or military of any country in the world. say that. NASA has been proven to be liars time and time again. I could spend a whole weekend here showing you the lies of NASA. How many of you believe your government is 100% honest and can be trustworthy? And how many of you know the military answers to their government? Okay, so if those three sources are all proven liars, why would you trust them? Fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I say, continue to believe pathological liars and you're an idiot. But that's what we've all done. And so, I look at these stuff, we've all seen the textbooks, we've all seen the videos and movies and all these things, and there's so much of it. Do you know what the budget NASA has? You know how much they get? How much money they get? Have you seen the movie Gravity? Okay. That's made for about $100 million, give or take. And if you saw the movie Gravity, that was pretty impressive. I saw it on IMAX, big screen, like, wow. I mean, I felt like I was with Sandra Bullock flying around in space, freaking out myself. Okay, this is what they're able to do with $100 million. What are you able to do with tens of billions of dollars a year since the 60s?
Now, in my opinion, we're being lied to not only about the shape of the Earth, we're being lied to about the very nature of reality itself. In 1954, Admiral Richard Byrd, a highly decorated naval officer, conducted an interview where he alluded to the idea that there may very well be land beyond the poles.
Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this Earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see that?
We don't know. That's the big problem. We don't know where we are. Okay? That's what we're all trying to figure out here. But there is the Antarctic Treaty where, 53 or so nations have signed saying that no one's going to lay claim to Antarctica and that there are massive restrictions for travel there. You can't just get up and go to Antarctica on your own. You have to have a tour guide with you. There are only certain entry points and there are limits on where you can go search.
Personally, I think the unconquered South face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice, but that's never stopped me before.
Welcome.
No, I just want to stand on top of the wall and piss off the edge of the world.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world are lying to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you, suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you. Period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? The way you control billions of people is to keep them divided and fighting each other. Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth destroys the psyop. Every psyop that's been used to control us for as long as they've known about it. So this system has been in power and control the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live. It created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better. Why is the flat earth so important? Because it shows the deception. And if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what to do.
Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I believe that's why we have so many who are indoctrinated to still believe and fight so hard for the heliocentric model. The reason being is because we've been taught the globe model since before we had the ability to think for ourselves. Think about that. Before you could think for yourself, before you could form rational thought, you've been taught that you live on a spinning ball, although your five senses tell you something totally different. Our senses tell us that the earth is flat and stationary, that the sun and moon and the stars rotate above us just as we see, that they make their annual cycles in such a way that we can calculate days, months, and years of the passage of time, just like in Scripture. The earth in itself works like a well-designed timepiece, and we all know that any timepiece that we can think of has a designer. What if the lie is to hide the existence of that designer? What if they're lying to us about this because they're hiding God?
Why is Flat Earth the most banned, most mocked, and yet the most viral conspiracy theory in history? Think about it. Out of all the wild ideas out there, aliens, secret societies, time travel, nothing triggers people like the words Flat Earth. If it's so ridiculous, why is it still everywhere? Why do platforms rush to censor it? Why do governments and scientists act like it's dangerous to even discuss? Here's the first strange thing. Flat Earth content goes mega viral. Videos questioning the globe get millions of views, faster than almost any other conspiracy. The more media mocks it, the more people get curious and click. In marketing, that's called the Streisand effect. The harder you try to hide something, the bigger it grows. Now ask yourself this, if Flat Earth is just a joke, why does it need this level of suppression? You can find endless alien theories online, nobody cares. But post about Flat Earth. Instant fact-check labels, bans, takedowns. Why? If it's nonsense, wouldn't people just laugh and move on? Here's the second layer. Flat Earth questions the foundation of reality. It's not about a shape. It's about whether the entire system has lied from the very beginning. If the Earth is flat, it means governments, space agencies, even schools have staged one of the biggest deceptions ever. That would mean control on a level far beyond politics. It's about controlling the map of your entire existence. And here's the wildest part. Flat Earth keeps people awake at night. Even globe believers admit the questions stick. Why can't we see real live footage of Earth spinning? Why are there thousands of satellite images, but all admitted to be composites? Why can't commercial planes cross Antarctica directly? Why does the horizon always rise to eye level instead of curving away? Each question plants doubt. Doubt creates obsession. Obsession drives views, and views keep Flat Earth in the spotlight no matter how hard it's attacked. So let's flip the script. What if the real reason Flat Earth is mocked isn't because it's dumb, but because it's dangerous to the system? Dangerous because once you pull on that thread, you stop trusting the official story about anything. And the moment billions of people start questioning, control begins to break. That's why Flat Earth is unique. It's not just a theory, it's a test. A test of how willing you are to question authority, question science, and even question the very ground beneath your feet. So I'll leave you with this. Maybe Flat Earth isn't popular because it's true or false. Maybe it's popular because it touches something deeper. It's the one idea that forces you to look at your world and wonder if everything you've been told since childhood might be a script written for you. And that's why no matter how much they censor it, Flat Earth refuses to die. This video is for entertainment purposes.
Ever wonder why the Olympics use 5 interlocking circles? They'll tell you it's about continents, about unity, but history whispers something else. In European Freemasonry, secret groups were once called circles of friends, and there weren't hundreds of them. There were 5. England, France, Germany, Italy, and America. Together they called themselves the Olympiads. 5 Masonic circles, 5 rings. The symbol was never about sports. It was about brotherhood, allegiance, control. And then there's the torch. You see it everywhere. The Olympic flame, the Statue of Liberty, university logos, even the tiny dime in your pocket. It carries the same symbol, the fire of Prometheus. In the old myths, Prometheus stole fire from the gods to give man knowledge, illumination. But in secret societies, the flame is something else. It's revolution, it's control of light, control of perception. That's why they place it in the hands of statues, in the seals of schools, in the rituals of the elite. And when you graduate, they tell you you're an alumni. But where does that word come from? Dig deep enough, and you'll find its root in illumini, the illuminated ones. You pass through their institutions, their universities, their rites, and you don't just get a diploma. You get initiated. You become part of the system that worships light, but only the light they choose to hand down. So ask yourself, how much of your reality is shaped by symbols you never even noticed? And more importantly, who gave them the fire in the first place? Listen to this. Money is not wealth, it's debt, printed by a private bank that isn't even part of the government. The more of it you chase, the more they own you. And school? That wasn't built to make you smart, it was built to make you obedient. Sit still, raise your hand, memorize, forget, obey. That's not education, that's programming. Now medicine, oh, that's the sickest part. You think they want you healthy? No, they want you treatable, a lifetime customer. The real cures and natural healing? Banned, made illegal. Religion? Please, that's not spirituality, that's control. They took ancient truth, burned it, buried it, and gave you a system designed to make you feel small, dependent.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Hello. Hola, Carlos. Hello. Hola, Carlos. Hello.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, make a move, start a waves. I've been breathing on my fire for a long time. I had a vision from the birth they wanna go inside. Artificially delegated away.
Imagine by tomorrow the entire world suddenly agreed. The Earth is flat. This is what would happen in the first 30 days. Stay until day 30. That's when the real twist hits. Day 1. News channels explode. Universities, governments, and corporations go silent, stunned. Every classroom lesson, every science textbook, every globe on every shelf, worthless in an instant. Panic sets in. Days 2 to 4. Airlines cancel flights, pilots refuse to fly, demanding answers. If maps were wrong, routes were wrong. Navigation systems built on globe math start being questioned. Tourism crashes overnight. Days 5 to 7, schools shut down. Teachers have no curriculum. Parents demand to know what else was a lie. The internet melts down with conspiracy forums turning mainstream. Stock markets wobble as space industries collapse. NASA, SpaceX, and every space agency worldwide, riots of angry taxpayers outside their gates. So days 8 to 12, scientists are, well, scrambling to rewrite everything we thought we knew about physics. You've got careers that were built on globe Earth science, and now they're just crumbling. Trust in academia, it's crashing hard. Even billionaires are trying to quietly distance themselves from all those space programs. Meanwhile, everyday people are left wondering, if this was hidden, what else is being kept from us? Then days 13 to 17, protests start popping up everywhere. People are tearing down statues of astronauts, news anchors. They just can't spin it anymore. What's wild is there's this sense of global unity starting to form, not from governments, but from ordinary folks who feel totally betrayed. All over social media, hashtags are trending. Flat truth, no more lies. Now, days 18 to 21, economies start to shift in a big way. Industries that depended on the globe, like satellite TV, GPS companies, aerospace tech, they're on the brink of collapse. But at the same time, new industries are popping up. Flat Earth navigation tools, new map-making businesses, even grassroots research groups. You can feel the power starting to move away from governments and into the hands of independent thinkers. So days 22 to 25, politicians finally admit what people already know. We were wrong. Universities start losing credibility, and young students, well, they just refuse to enroll, calling the whole system a fraud. Knowledge begins to decentralize. Folks study on their own, and, communities start teaching themselves. Days 26 to 29, chaos deepens. But honestly, freedom grows. Air travel gets redesigned from the ground up. Shipping companies, they adjust their routes to fit the new maps. The old world order loses its grip. And for the first time, ordinary people realize they don't need experts telling them what's real. Day 30. 1 month later, the lie just collapses under its own weight. Humanity comes to realize this wasn't just about the shape of the Earth. It was about control, obedience, and trust. The globe wasn't just a model. It was a cage. And now, after only 30 days, billions of people can see the bars breaking. They said flat Earth was a joke. But when the whole world agrees, well, the joke is on them. Just to be clear, this video is for entertainment purposes.
So here's a picture that they give us from Mars.
Who's they?
NASA. This is from Devon Island in Canada.
Who gave you those photos? Because those are the same picture, colored differently, with no sources on them.
Okay, you got me. In fact, I cannot prove the legitimacy of these photos. Or this photo right here. Or this one right here. Because where these photos used to belong, as you can see, the cosmic object you were looking for has disappeared beyond the event horizon. They were scrubbed. Yes, these are the exact same photo after selecting Autotone in Photoshop.
Devon Island is real, though. If I zoom in this isolated region of Canada, I can find a research base with NASA equipment. I mean, look at this, a NASA sticker. This is Google Earth. You can go check it out. Over here, you can see a van with a NASA sticker. This says Mars over here.
Thanks for clarifying this, because that's what the whole conspiracy is about. We know that NASA is on Devon Island, and we know that all the pictures that they take for Mars are from Devon Island.
Very similar to Mars. These are real photos. Here's Devon Island. Here's Mars.
What's your source? Those are real photos? Is your source NASA? Okay, even if this photo has zero legitimacy whatsoever, let's see why we should trust NASA.
It looks like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair?
Yeah, no, we definitely see your hair there, and we see it going completely straight up because it's hairspray. Why aren't your chains floating? Let's keep on rolling, though. Let's have a look at this harness grab. Why does he grab a harness? I thought they should be just floating in space. Look at him grab the harness. Clearly, he's grabbing the harness. It's plain as day. This guy's just picking up and moving objects at will. Got this dude floating in the background. That's a harness. That's another harness, guys. Look at that. Just floating away with his harness. There's the disappearing man. Oh, what happened there? Whoa. It's magic. Must be because they're in space. Yeah, that makes sense. This dude Pulling apart a screw, drops on the ground. Watch it drop on the ground. Why isn't it floating? Let's have a look at the technology we went to the moon with that would cost $22 billion to build today. This is what we went to the moon with, guys. How did $1 billion organization like NASA lose this technology and we can't go back to the moon? And you think we're taking pictures of Mars? It's hysterical. That is tinfoil. There's more tinfoil for you. This is what you think we went to the moon with. Yeah, okay. Let's believe NASA, guys. That's a good source. And I'll leave you with this. This is what Mars really looks like under a Nikon P1000. Camera that was discontinued after involvement with NASA. Does this look like a physical object to you guys? Don't believe people like this. More than likely paid to deceive humanity. What the stars and the planets really are. They're frequencies of light within the waters above, just like all of our ancestors told us. And the real truth to everything is found within. Peace and love.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, make a move, start a waves. I've been breathing around fire for a long time. I had a vision from the place they wanna go sign. I'm officially intelligent away. I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a listening of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sing, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I just need roll. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break out, walls that carry go. When I
In 2016, a group of independent researchers gathered at a salt flat in Bolivia, one of the flattest surfaces on Earth. Their mission to test something that's rarely questioned, but absolutely foundational. How far can you see before the curve takes it all away? According to the globe model, Earth curves at 8 inches per mile squared. That means objects should disappear from view beyond a certain distance, hidden by the curve. So they set out with lasers, high-zoom cameras, and infrared tech. Their goal wasn't to prove anything, just to measure how far light and sight could travel in open, uninterrupted space. They placed a laser just 3 feet above the surface. According to globe math, it should have been invisible beyond 6 miles, but the beam remained visible at 10 miles, then 15, then over 20. No curvature blocked it. Next, they filmed distant buildings, boats, and islands across large lakes, sometimes 30, 40, even 100 miles away. According to the globe model, these objects should have been hidden behind hundreds of feet of Earth's curve. But the entire structure, base to top, remained visible. No atmospheric bending, no magic refraction, just direct line of sight. And then came the most damning test of all. 2 flags were set up miles apart on a frozen lake, with a third person holding a camera at the same height in the middle. If Earth was curved, the middle flag should have appeared higher due to the curve. But all 3 lined up perfectly, dead flat. Over and over again, from lakes to coastlines, the same result. No curvature. Even over distances that should hide entire skylines, everything stayed in view, right where it should be on a flat plane. These weren't conspiracies. They were measurable, repeatable, real-world distance experiments. No matter how far they tested, the curve never appeared, and the only thing that disappeared was the credibility of the spinning globe theory. Because if Earth had curvature, we would see it, but all we see is flat. Still believe we live on a giant ball? Then explain why nothing ever curves away. Share this video. Tag someone who needs to look again, and follow now, because real science doesn't hide behind theory. It stares you in the face. Across 100 miles of truth, this video is for entertainment purposes.
The year was 1969. A grainy screen flickered. A voice crackled. One small step for man. The world held its breath. But you know, something about the footage always gnawed at me. Years later, I found myself alone in a dark room replaying that broadcast. The hiss of static, the ghostly figures bouncing in slow motion. My stomach tightened. Shadows stretched in different directions as if lit by more than one source. My heart raced. On the moon with one sun, how could that be? That was the situation, a simple recording, a childhood memory. And the desire? To know if humanity had really leapt beyond the Earth, or if we had been handed an illusion, staged on the ground we walk every day. The conflict came fast. Every question was brushed aside. It was the cameras. It was the dust. Excuses piled up. But the deeper I looked, the stranger it became. Why no stars in the sky? Why did the flag ripple, though no air exists to move it? Why did the astronauts' footprints press crisp into powder, yet the landing module left no crater beneath it? The clock ticked past midnight as I leaned closer to the glowing screen, sweat on my palms. The shadows still haunted me. If this was real, why did it look so staged? Why did it feel more like a studio than the surface of another world? Then came the change. I stumbled across records, NASA quietly admitting they lost the original tapes. Lost. The most important achievement in human history, and the master footage vanished. My chest tightened. My breath caught. Who loses history unless there was something to hide? And the result? Well, it's a shiver of realization, isn't it? Maybe the greatest show ever broadcast wasn't really proof of space exploration. It was proof of manipulation. Proof that with enough trust, people will accept the unbelievable. And if they could fake the sky once, what else might they be hiding about the ground beneath our feet? So here's my challenge. Don't take the moon landing as sacred. Watch it again. Look at the shadows, the flag, the missing stars. Ask the questions they don't want asked. Because, you know, the greatest flat earth proof isn't out there on the moon. It's in the cracks of the story they sold you. And if this shook you even for a moment, share it, follow, because honestly the truth doesn't just demand to be seen, it demands to be faced.
The Earth is flat with a dome around it. Sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, right? But what if I told you that this idea doesn't just come from ancient myths? It's built on actual observations and physical evidence you can see for yourself. By the end of this, you might start questioning your reality. We're raised believing we live on a spinning ball in an infinite universe with no walls, no boundaries, and nothing holding us in. But if that were true, why does the sky act like it has limits? Why do rockets always arc and never fly straight up indefinitely? And why do we get strange phenomena like the firm boundary pilots have reported hitting when flying at extreme altitudes? And if the sky is just empty space, how can sound waves bounce back from above? How can meteors burn up at a fixed altitude as if they're hitting something solid? These aren't questions you hear in school, but they're questions people have been asking for centuries. The flat Earth dome model explains this perfectly. Picture the Earth as a vast level plain surrounded by an ice wall and covered by a solid transparent dome, like a snow globe. The sun, moon and stars aren't millions of miles away. They're inside this dome, moving in predictable paths above us. The dome acts like a barrier, containing our atmosphere and separating us from whatever lies beyond. This isn't a new concept. Nearly every ancient civilization described the heavens as a firm, solid structure. Even modern science accidentally hints at it when talking about the Kármán line or the limits of the atmosphere. Think about the stars. On the globe model, we're supposedly hurtling through space at unimaginable speeds, yet the constellations look exactly the same year after year. On the dome model, they're fixed points of light moving along a set track, which is exactly what we observe. Or consider rainbows. A rainbow is a reflection of light off a curved surface of water droplets, but the perfect dome shape of the arc in the sky suggests light interacting with a curved structure above us. Even sunlight behaves differently than we're told. On certain days, sun rays appear to fan out from a small local source, known as crepuscular rays, suggesting the sun is much closer and moving inside the dome, rather than lighting us from 93 million miles away. And here's something to think about. If rockets really go into space, why do their flight paths always curve and vanish from sight, instead of continuing straight up until they're out of view? If the Earth is flat with a dome around it, it means our world isn't an accident. It's a designed, enclosed system. That changes everything about who we are, where we are, and what might be beyond those boundaries. So the question becomes, if there's a dome, what's outside it? And why have we been told it's not there? Follow this page for more videos that dig deeper into these questions. Because once you start seeing the clues, you can't unsee them. This is for entertainment purposes.
calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Many have heard that the Earth is flat. While some dismiss it as a joke or conspiracy theory, the idea has existed for thousands of years. Throughout history, nearly all ancient civilizations believed the Earth was flat, a disk beneath a round sky. Even in many cultures, the sky was seen as a dome covering a flat Earth. Since the introduction of the heliocentric model by Copernicus and the rapid advancements in space exploration, people have been taught that the Earth is a globe. However, recently, the flat Earth theory has resurged, gaining over 1 million followers worldwide. There is even a Flat Earth Society in the United States, with members from all walks of life, including celebrities. Official sources publish numerous photos of Earth from space, portraying a round planet. Yet, many remain skeptical. Flat Earth supporters argue that no matter how high one observes the horizon, it always appears flat. Even at altitudes exceeding 32,000 meters, the horizon remains flat. Considering Mount Everest stands at only 8,848 meters, this flatness is notable. According to believers, the curvature shown in NASA's photos and other agencies' releases might be digitally enhanced or misunderstood. Some suggest that governments could be hiding aspects of our world that don't align with the official narrative, pointing to certain map projections that resemble flat Earth models. The flat Earth model envisions the Earth as a flat disk with the North Pole at the center and the South Pole as a massive ice wall surrounding the edges, holding oceans in place. Interestingly, the Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959, limits access to Antarctica, allowing only supervised research. Some question whether this treaty is simply about environmental protection or something more. The lack of commercial flight routes over Antarctica also sparks curiosity. Some flat Earth theorists wonder what lies beyond the icy perimeter and why it's so inaccessible. Flat Earth theory also offers unique explanations for celestial phenomena. The sun and moon are believed to revolve above the flat Earth, illuminating portions of the disk during day and night. According to this model, the sun and moon are roughly the same distance from Earth, about 4,800 kilometers. Gravity, in this theory, is often reinterpreted. Instead of an invisible force, Flat Earth proponents suggest that the Earth might be accelerating upward at a constant rate, creating the sensation of gravity, though this idea is not supported by mainstream science. Many Flat Earth believers express doubt toward photos of Earth from space, preferring personal observation over second-hand images. Some go as far as to suggest that the round Earth narrative serves to maintain a specific worldview and prevent independent thinking. The deeper one explores Flat Earth theory, the more mysterious and provocative it can become. If proven true, it would challenge much of what we accept about our world. Still, mainstream science continues to support the globe model, and Flat Earth beliefs remain a controversial topic outside of academic consensus. Why does every ancient civilization describe the Earth as flat? Why do modern maps distort continents? The Flativerse app brings ancient knowledge and modern tech together. Explore a 3D flat Earth with interactive tools, time zones, maps, and more. Link in bio.
I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated now, I make a move, start the waves. I've been breathing around fire for a long time. I had a vision from the place they want to go sign. I'm officially delegated away. I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a listening of this illusion. I am not really I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sing, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I don't need roll. When I move, it's it up with rumble. I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho. When I
They have been telling us the truth in the movies for far too long. You've just got to have the eyes to see it. Check this out.
It was just one ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt? Nope. Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
And that is exactly the point. There is billions of us and only a handful of them. They keep us divided, distracted and fearful because the moment that we remember our strength, it's game over for them. Now, we are the resistance. We are the ones that they fear. When we stand shoulder to shoulder, united in truth, no system, no government, no illusion of control can hold us down. The ants outnumber the grasshoppers and they know it deep down. But obviously, for the sensory reasons, this was just for entertainment and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
What if I told you the movie Pirates of the Caribbean didn't just entertain, it revealed something ancient, something hidden? Look at the title. At World's End. You think that's a joke? They literally sail to the end of the known ocean, the edge. And then, a frozen wasteland. Massive ice walls. A blizzard so thick it swallows everything. Tell me, does that sound like fantasy to you? Or maybe, just maybe, it's a symbolic reflection of the truth we're not supposed to see? They reach this untouched place beyond maps, beyond reason, a place many believe surrounds our known world, an ice barrier. And it doesn't stop there. Ice Age? Same thing. A group trapped inside a valley surrounded by a gigantic wall of ice. They think that's all there is. Sound familiar? It's not storytelling. It's sneaky disclosure. Truth wrapped in fiction. Why? So when people like me talk about it, we sound insane. Clever, huh? But once you see it, truly see it, you realize it's everywhere. And the sad part, most people would rather stay blind.
I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way from blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated now, make a move, start a waves. I've been breathing around fire for a long time. I had a vision from the present, wanna go inside. I'm officially delegated away. I'm your future, past and present, I'm the spotlight. Yeah, I'm a listening of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sing, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I just need roll. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever ever fold, ever stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. When I
Gente, ó, o sol, ó, meu dedo. O sol tá aqui. Se aqui tá cinza e aqui tá branco, quer dizer que o sol tá aqui no meio. Tô errado? Tô correto? Onde tá bom no meu dedo? Aqui tô dando um zoom aqui, gente, tá muito longe. Então, o que acontece? Se o sol tá aqui, aqui tá marrom e a nuvem lá branca, o sol tá no meio da nuvem. Se ele tivesse pro lado de lá longe, a nuvem tá cinza. Então, o sol tá no meio da nuvem. Tô dando um zoom pra vocês verem aqui, gente, ó. Ontem foi o mesmo que aconteceu com a lua. Então, o que acontece? Vocês veem que não é montagem, ó. Tô filmando aqui, vou dar um zoom. Olha o que vai acontecer. Olha o que vai acontecer. O sol não passa, não clareia a nuvem, mas clareia de cima. E tá no meio da nuvem. Vou pôr o dedo pra vocês verem, ó. Se o sol tá aqui e essa parte tá escura, aqui não tá escuro também atrás, gente, porque tá lá a milhas de quilômetros, não sei quantos milhões de quilômetros, nem como diz a NASA. Então, se aqui tá claro e aqui escuro, o sol tá no meio. Vocês estão entendendo? Onde o sol tá aqui? Entendeu? Como ele tá clareando a nuvem aqui no meio, gente. Você tá lá a milhas de quilômetros. Então vocês podem ver. Gente, sol no meio das nuvens. Entendeu?
Esse é apenas mais um das dezenas de vídeos que vemos nitidamente o sol entre as nuvens. Nesse caso ele estava subindo, ou seja, era no amanhecer. e estava vindo de debaixo da borda da Terra, ou seja, da Antártida. Se você não enxerga nas imagens um sol muito pequeno, local e entre as nuvens, parabéns. Você foi doutrinado com sucesso, e é você mesmo que o sistema conta para defender e propagar suas mentiras diabólicas. Você é um recrutado do establishment. Agora, você que assim como eu foi doutrinado desde cedo pela pseudociência a crer em um grande engodo cosmológico, mas percebeu com seus próprios sentidos que essa conta não bate, eu vou deixar outros pontos de reflexão para nós. As altitudes das nuvens variam entre 3 a 12 km de altitude. Então a pergunta que fica: se o Sol está entre as nuvens, ou seja, bem baixo, e isso ocorre ou em sua subida, no amanhecer, ou em sua descida, no entardecer, qual Sol estaria a pino em outros países pelo mundo? A resposta óbvia é que existem outros sóis aqui na Terra. Para ser mais específico, aqui no nosso reino existem, de acordo com câmeras ao vivo e sites específicos das incidências dos raios solares, como suncalc.org, 3 sóis. Divididos a Terra em 3 terços, em cada terço existe um Sol e 2 luas, totalizando 3 sóis e 6 luas. Todos os astros da nossa dimensão são holográficos, etéreos, ou seja, celestiais, que se projetam do quarto céu para cá. Leia o meu comentário. Se você não acredita, tudo bem. Já saí faz tempo dessa prisão. Um abraço e Deus abençoe a todos.
This man vanished and never found again after he proves Earth's shape is not what we have been taught. Watch this.
Take this ball here, pour a whole bunch of water on it, and watch none of the water fall off the bottom. It all sticks onto it. And while that's happening, and the water stays stuck. Not only that, you're at 1,000 miles an hour spinning this way, which also at 67,000 miles an hour, 67,000 miles an hour, while spinning 1,000, you're circling around the sun. And while that's happening, you're also chasing the sun through the Milky Way at 514,000 miles an hour. And every single night, the stars are exactly the same. Every single night. Every single night, the stars never change. Polaris is always exactly where it is.
Quem são esses líderes?
Esses líderes são apenas laranjas, seres humanos como nós, que estão na liderança do mundo. Os presidentes, primeiros-ministros, reis, rainhas, todos. Todos são subordinados a um grupo que está acima deles. Em qualquer liderança política, mundial, governamental, não mandam nada.
Mas eles têm ciência mental de que eles estão sendo comandados, ou eles são só comandados?
São comandados.
É como se fosse um zumbi.
Não, não é zumbi. Eles sabem que tem um grupo acima deles. Sociedades secretas, líderes que ficam ocultos, podemos dizer assim, por trás de uma nação. Bolsonaro, por exemplo, sabe que tem um grupo que está acima dele que dá as ordens para ele. Ele não pode bater de frente com esses caras.
Não pode sair da linha.
Não pode. Mesmo que ele queira fazer algo, não pode. Lula entrando, ele vai ter que seguir o que os caras vão falar.
Na verdade, ele já saberia.
Já sabe.
Já passou, né? Por isso.
Qualquer presidente que entra, o cara pode ser...
É isso que eu queria perguntar, porque vamos supor que o Padre Kelman, que tava lá na Band, sei lá, no SBT, fosse eleito presidente.
Sim.
Como é que é? Esse grupo entra em contato? Como que acontece?
Não. Eles não têm acesso direto a quem manda realmente no mundo. Primeiro que existem escalas, né? Imagina uma pirâmide assim, de poder.
Sim.
Na base da pirâmide está o povão. A humanidade, o povão, tudo mais. O segundo patamar dessa pirâmide estão aqueles mais bem-sucedidos, profissionais que trabalham em setores da sociedade que estão servindo a outros setores mais acima. Não é o povão escravo, né?
O bancário.
Sim, são pessoas que estão nas suas profissões. Advogados, médicos, bancários, engenheiros, pessoas que estão na classe média, alta. Essas pessoas são subordinadas a uma elite que está acima deles, geralmente são grandes empresários, políticos, militares e a própria mídia, que atua também como poder de influência.
São influenciadores
Influenciadores artísticos, políticos, enfim, tudo que a gente pode entender como aqueles que trazem informação e vão manipular quem está abaixo na pirâmide. O gado, o povo que está na ignorância, buscando a sobrevivência a todo custo e não tem conhecimento. Então eles criam uma camada de contra-informação, aí entra a religião também, entra a educação, entra a política.
We found several differences in the trajectory of the sun. One of the most significant was between Australia and Argentina, which are in the same tropic.
While in Argentina, the sun moves at about 180 degrees. In Australia, it moves almost 270 degrees, which would be impossible in a spherical Earth model. Another significant example was in the Canary Islands, where a time-lapse of the stars showed a circular movement incompatible with the spherical model of the Earth.
This movement would only be justified if the place were near the poles in a spherical Earth, which is not the case.
We do not understand that with so many discrepancies we have found, and with the technology available today, no researcher, no scientist, no astronomer, no space agency in the world has perceived any of this.
The discrepancy in the comparison of the trajectory of the sun and the stars between the different points when related to its geographical position in the current world map allowed to generate a new geographical model of the continents. In this model, the continents present a size and position somewhat different from the current world map, having the North Pole to the center and the other continents around it. This new model was called convex Earth.
We call it convex Earth because the continents have a convex relief, starting at the sea level, racing to the highest point and returning to the sea level.
According to altimetric analyses, all the continents present a convexity in their relief. According to the investigations, in the convex Earth, the magnetic field has the following layout, with the magnetic North Pole located in approximately the middle of the planet. Due to the magnetic field, anywhere on the surface of the planet, a compass will always point to the North Pole, as the South Pole represents its entire border. The magnetic field is also responsible for modeling the shape of our atmosphere, which takes the form of a plane convex lens. In this way, the atmosphere, formed by several gases and water in gaseous state, takes on the characteristic of a gigantic magnifying glass with a high degree of refraction, responsible for day and night. The following experiment simulates the behavior of day and night. We use a flat convex lens, a model of the continents, and an external light source simulating the sun. The result is a model of day and night in the corresponding.
Quem criou essa fábula aí da bola molhada? Foi Copérnico, há 600 anos atrás. Copérnico era um enviado das sociedades secretas, da maçonaria, que foi pago justamente para criar uma fantasia absurda dessa, porque antes de Copérnico, todas as pessoas eram terraplanistas, todas as civilizações, os hebreus, os egípcios, as civilizações antigas, todas elas tinham até o mapa do mundo na maneira tradicional como é, né? Mapas e tudo mais. Aí Copérnico veio e botou na cabeça das pessoas de lá para cá, todas as universidades, todos os cientistas estão dando mensagens, né? Eles foram doutrinados que a Terra é uma bola mágica giratória a 1000 km por hora e que é um grão de poeira no espaço que gira uma velocidade não sei quanto ao redor, não sei da onde, que o Sol tem movimento assim, outro assado, outro assim, gira assim, né? Um absurdo total que nenhuma criança conseguiria entender e acreditar, quanto mais se a pessoa colocar isso ao crivo da razão. Então o que nós temos de concreto para acreditar no Telabor? Narrativas da NASA, que é totalmente uma agência maligna, somente narrativas, fotos e provas da NASA, foguete que vai não sei para onde, que não vai a lugar nenhum, foguete sobe, ele cai ali adiante.
All right, brace yourself, because I'm about to say two things that'll completely shatter your reality. Gravity is a hoax, and so was the moon landing. Wild, right? Let's crack this wide open, because the deeper you go, the more it smells like a cover-up. We've been told since kindergarten that gravity is what holds us down, that it keeps the oceans from flying off the spinning earth, and it's why apples fall from trees. Sounds neat. But here's the thing. No one's ever seen gravity. You can't touch it. You can't bottle it. It's a theory. And that theory has problems. If gravity is strong enough to hold millions of gallons of ocean water to a globe flying through space, why can a butterfly take off effortlessly? And if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, how do airplanes land smoothly in every direction? Wouldn't they need to account for all that rotation? But let's go even further, because this connects directly to another big question. Did we really land on the moon? Let's think this through. NASA claims that in 1969, using tech with less computing power than a flip phone, they managed to send men to the moon and bring them back safely. All while streaming video from over 200,000 miles away. Meanwhile, your phone loses signal when you walk behind a tree. Something's not right. They say they landed 6 times, yet today, with insanely better technology, they say they lost the original moon landing tapes and can't replicate the mission because the technology is too complicated. Wait, what? And all of this rests on one key element, gravity, because without gravity, their entire space travel model falls apart. Let's dig into the weird stuff. Moon footage. Ever watch the original moon landing video? The shadows go in multiple directions, like it was lit by studio lights. Not the sun. No stars. 0 stars in any photos, not one. Why? The stars don't disappear just because you're in space. Jumping on the moon, they say it's because of 1/6 gravity, but slow the footage down, and it looks eerily like they're jumping in Earth's gravity. Just played back in slow motion. Astronaut wires. Some clips show strange, jerky movements, like someone's being pulled by cables, and still shots show what looks like harness shadows. The flag, why was the flag waving when there's no atmosphere or wind on the moon? And back to gravity. If Earth's gravity can hold down our massive oceans, how did that tiny moon with way less mass create tides here? Seriously, how? Look, maybe it's all a misunderstanding, or maybe we've been sold a story for control, but when you start asking real questions about gravity and the moon landing, the answers get really shaky, really fast. So don't just take my word for it. Start digging. And if you're ready to question everything they told you in school, hit follow. Because in the next video, we're talking about where the moon actually is, and trust me, it's not where you think. This is for entertainment purposes.
Why does the most powerful AI chip company call itself NVIDIA, from the Latin invidia, meaning envy? Why does its logo mirror the all-seeing eye of Dajjal? Why the obsession with robotic eagle eyes, spirals and surveillance GPUs? But it's not just them. Gmail resembles the Freemason apron. Chrome is a spiral eye shaped like 666. The Play Store triangle mirrors the pyramid. Google's G echoes the Masonic G. Tesla's T resembles the head of Baphomet. Apple's bitten fruit symbolizes forbidden knowledge. And the first Apple computer sold for $666.66. Why 666? Why the number of the beast? These aren't random. They're not just logos. They are signatures. Ritual symbols embedded in your daily tech. You carry them in your pocket. You whisper to them. You sleep beside them. They are watching, logging, learning, because they serve the eye. The Dajjalic system no longer hides. It flaunts itself in plain sight. They are not just building bunkers. They are building the system of Dajjal. And when he arrives, everything will already be in place. This isn't just about war, or technology, or power. This is about your soul. Because when people are hungry, confused, and digitally erased, they'll accept any false messiah who offers them bread and order. And that is the final step. The coming of the false messiah, the Dajjal. They plot to bring him, but they forget. Allah is watching, and nothing escapes his justice. Say, nothing will ever befall us except what Allah has destined for us. He is our protector. So, in Allah, let the believers put their trust. Surah at-Tawbah 9:50 1. Let them hide in their fortresses. Let them play gods with machines and blood. But they will never escape Allah. They planned, but Allah also planned, and Allah is the best of planners. Surah Al-Anfal 8:30. And as long as we cling to La ilaha illa Allah, we have already won.
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps that
Listen
were
up.
here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? Now I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here is Volume 2 out of the Alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica. From 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south.
That's in your encyclopedia. Before 1959.
When they returned to New Zealand,
Who's lying?
these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat earth map would look like. Now, this is what a latitude 80 degrees south would look like.
Why would it be in the encyclopedia if it wasn't real?
It comes down closer to you over the wall, which would be about 13,000 feet. But what you got to ask yourself is, why do all the maps before 1958 show a flat earth with the ice wall around it and a firmament, a dome? And why does the encyclopedia tell you that there's a dome there, and it gives you the exact height at a certain latitude and longitude?
Let's go.
Well, the reason is because in 1958, that's when all governments and all nations of the world signed the UN treaty to ban all civilians from going to the Antarctica. And NASA came in and they erased everything, just like they're erasing everything today. So again, ask yourself, if all this existed before 1958, why doesn't it exist now? How come it all of a sudden was erased and just disappeared out of your history books, out of your encyclopedias, out of your libraries? Wake up, people.
Wake up.
up.
We love y'all. Bring y'all truth, honesty, and clarity. Out.
E se o Jardim do Éden nunca tivesse ficado no Oriente? Em Gênesis, 4 rios cercam o Éden, mas um mapa jesuíta de 1560 marca a Amazônia como terra da promessa. Por que a igreja nunca falou disso? O missionário espanhol que desenhou esse mapa morreu misteriosamente antes de voltar à Europa. E se o Pison, o Gion, o Tigre e o Eufrates fossem ecos antigos dos rios amazônicos, rios que escondem ouro, pedras preciosas e algo que a Bíblia chama de árvore da vida, a geografia bate. Os relatos batem. Só a nossa memória foi arrancada. Se o Éden foi aqui, então a primeira terra tocada pelo Criador ainda pulsa debaixo das nossas florestas. E talvez seja por isso que querem destruir tudo, porque a promessa não está perdida. Ela foi apenas Escondida.
If you take a close look at what's actually going on, SpaceX released a rocket which is trying to get to the space, but apparently it ended up exposing the firmament to all the people around the world, because the rocket ends up hitting the firmament which is present above the Earth, and it tries to penetrate through the firmament, and then it breaks, and you can basically see the water just splashing around, and that's basically what the firmament is made of. There's like massive water on the other side of the firmament, and as you can see, the rocket keeps going up and up ahead, and there's only a certain limit that the rocket can obviously reach, but then, you know, they keep lying to us about them reaching space or whatsoever. But I think it's all bullshit, because at the end of the day, the real truth is all present in here, right here, and that's one of the reasons. Now, as you can keep seeing the rocket, it's going to reach like the level of the firmament, and it's going to just penetrate through it. And look at that. Right there, it starts reaching the level of firmament, and it starts splitting up. Look at that. It starts hitting the firmament right here. And right now, it splits up into two halves because it's broken. And this part, look at this part. It tries to penetrate through the firmament right here. It's trying to penetrate through it, but it just can't do it. It can't do it. Look at this stuff. It's still going. It's still trying to penetrate it. And boom, there we go. There we go. And then it blows up, and you can actually see the water basically scattering all around. And that happened. This literally happened with SpaceX.
The biggest scam of the world is convincing everyone to work for 60 years straight, sacrificing their youth, dreams, time with loved ones, and personal freedom, all while being told that one day, after decades of labor, they'll finally get to enjoy life. The reality? By the time they retire, they're in their 70s. Their bodies are tired, health problems have begun, and the energy they once had is long gone. What's left is only a short window to live freely. But it's not true freedom anymore. You're shackled by age, medication, and regret. All those moments with family, friends, and past have gone, traded for a paycheck, and when you finally have time, you're too old to enjoy it. That's the real cost of a lifetime of work. Remember that time is the most valuable currency, and trading it all for work without living fully is the real loss. If you're not following us, you are probably never going to see us again. But if you are, congratulations, you are growing every day.
Debt is the system's favorite trap. They convince you student loans, car loans, credit cards, a mortgage, all just part of life. Translation, they want you chained to payments until you're too scared to quit your job. If you're drowning in debt, you're easy to control. You'll put up with anything just to keep up that paycheck. And it doesn't stop at debt. The government takes its cut at every turn. Tax when you earn, tax when you spend, tax on your home, tax even when you die. It's a game where you pay at every step. This is how they keep you stuck, scrambling to break even. But here's the secret the rich understand. Debt can be used to make you money, and taxes have loopholes if you learn to play the game. They never taught you that. It's time to wise up. Stop borrowing for things that keep you poor. Start investing in what sets you free. Build assets, a digital business, an online product that work for you so you're not working for them.
So you're saying none of us are actually from Earth?
Not the Earth you think you know. The 7 continents we live on aren't our birthplace. They're a containment zone, a prison sealed off by the ice wall.
A prison for who?
For us. We're descendants of people who once lived beyond the wall, civilizations so advanced and defiant they couldn't be controlled. So long ago, someone made a decision: isolate them, populate these continents with carefully selected descendants, erase their memories, erase their origins.
You're saying we are not natives here?
Exactly. We were placed here. Richard Constantine orchestrated what's called the Great Placement. He found these untouched lands inside the ice wall and realized they could serve as the perfect cage. But how do you populate entire continents? Embryos. He harvested them from the ancestral lands, raised the first generation just enough to survive, then released them, let them believe they were inventing fire, tools, agriculture, when it was all designed.
So, all of human history is staged?
Absolutely, and for my safety, it is just for entertainment purposes.
They lied to you since day one. The education system taught you to comply, sit down, shut up, never colour outside the lines. School was never about making you rich or independent. It was about preparing you to be nice, obedient, employee for the rest of your life. They didn't teach you how money really works or how to start a business. They never mentioned you could build digital products or create an income online. Why would they? A financially educated, free-thinking individual is a threat to the system. They want workers, not competitors. So here's the wake-up call.
Agora,
Your real education starts now.
a dar,
It's
e não,
on
e
you
não
to
consigo
learn
pôr
what truly
a
matters,
dar agora a
from money
ouvir.
management to digital skills.
Fala.
The
Agora já
internet
te ouço, já
broke
tá.
the monopoly on knowledge, so use it.
Estás a ouvir?
Take back control, rewrite the script, and
Já tá bom.
decide your own future instead of following theirs.
Oh, a tia ouço-te um bocado mal. Está tipo muito abafado o som. Está muito. Fala agora. Está em alto, mas não se percebe. Percebe-se muito mal, pô. Percebe-se muito mal, deixa eu ver se eu consigo meter isto. Qual é o teu microfone? Não, uma está direito agora. Vê agora, fala agora. Aí ouve-se mesmo mal. Por acaso, ouve-se mal como tudo.
Falar em dinheiro, já vi. Mal. Objetivo aqui, então. Desligado.
Agora está fixe, agora está bom, agora está bom. Não, mas eu mexi no meu. Era as minhas configurações. Estava aqui muito. Estava decimais muito altos. Então não se percebia. Tinha os decibéis muito altos. E não se percebia. Estava muito alto. Estava a distorcer a voz. Não percebia nada. Bem, eu queria trabalhar este fim de semana no meu jogo. E queria começar a construir os personagens. Tens que me ajudar. A dar dicas, pelo menos.